Hello everybody and welcome back to UKDiver. If it's your first time here, then just welcome. I know I'm very glad to be here and I'm very glad to see you here too for what is a review of these three masks. So I've just got back from an absolutely fantastic trip in South Africa. It was absolutely a revelation. And while I was out there, I tested these three masks. Now, a couple of months ago, I guess it was now, I did a desktop review of this, which is Apex's new VX2 mask. And I will leave a link for that review up here, and it will also be down in the description as well. And if you've seen that, you'll know I wasn't very complimentary about this mask, but it was only a desktop review and I did promise to go and try it out in the wild, and I have, both in the UK and it came to South Africa with me for a good couple of dives over there. However, what was interesting is literally an hour after I released the video for this, the UK distributor for this company, Techline, reached out and said, "They've just watched my review of this, would I like to review their mask?" And bearing in mind that I'd ripped Apex literally a new one about this mask, not only the mask, but the box and also the website, which I'm happy to report they have corrected, I thought it was pretty ballsy of Techline to reach out and let me have a go at this, because normally when you rip somebody a new one, people are not super keen to review their stuff. So 10 out of 10 for chops. So what I did, guys, is I took all three of these masks. So I've got the VX2, the Techline, this is called their super wide, and I took my Old Faithful, actually this is a new Old Faithful, my Old Faithful X-Deep Radical mask in black, which I've also done a review of. Again, I'll leave that down there and a link down there. First off, the VX2. Putting aside the box, putting aside the greenwashing with the company, putting aside all that, okay, spoke about that in the previous review, so I'm not going to go through that again. How does this mask perform? I use this on a good couple of dives. I've dived in a muddy puddle, a local muddy puddle called A Taker, which is just up the road. And then, like I said, I took it to South Africa and did a couple of dives over there. And it's not a bad mask. It's okay. I didn't have any problems with it sealing. It dealt with my wispy moustache pretty well. It's comfortable enough to wear, apart from a couple of things really. So overall, I don't think it's too bad. For me, as I said in the first video, the nose pocket is just too small. Okay, I've got a relatively big nose and the nose pocket on this mask is super dainty. So after sort of an hour and 20 minutes on one of the longer tech dives that I did over there, my nose didn't feel very well at all. Okay, so the nose pocket, if you've got a big nose, is small. The other thing, and as predicted really, the field of view on this mask is just simply not as good as a single frame mask, and it's simply not as good as any of the other low volume masks. This is not what you can call a low volume mask. If I show you some of the footage here that I took in South Africa, so this is just my GoPro rear facing on my main camera when I'm doing some diving, and if you look how far away my face looks. If you look at my eyeball, look how far away that looks from the front of the mask, and the reason is it is quite far away from the mask. This is a very deep mask, especially on these edges. There is a lot of peripheral vision that you are losing here. There is also a lot of peripheral vision that you're losing in the front section as well. So it's a bug eye mask. They're not my favorite design in the first place, and I think it's just not the mask for me. If you like the bug eye design, the eye-watering price doesn't put you off. It is an okay mask. That's as much as I can really say about it. I can't get much more excited about that. I have done some more research, which I hadn't done on the first review, about the lenses, because that was all a bit of a rush. And you know, the user replaceable lenses, again, is another fallacy, because you can't buy spares. As of now anyway, which is September 2023, you can't buy spares, so there's nothing to replace them with. You can't buy sexy coated ones, you can't buy ones with, you know, special vision correction lenses in. It's just another red herring. You know, you can unbolt the front of it. Why? Because you can't buy any spares. So I just think It's got too many downsides, it's too expensive, it doesn't offer the same field of view. I mean, it does look, I mean, if you look here again, just let me show you, with the rebreather piping and everything, you do look bloody hot. And if that's what, if that's your thing, you just want to look good underwater, and we know there's plenty of Instagram divers that do take more photos of themselves than I've said, this mask might be for you. But for me, it's just a big no. It's too expensive. I've got too many issues with the box. I've got too many issues with this company in general with this at the moment. And above all, it's just by far and away not the best mask out there. So let's discount that one from the start. Okay, so you know that my preferred mask is this, the XD Radical. I have had a couple of these. I started off with a black one, then I threw that overboard accidentally and I bought the clear one, and I didn't like the clear one because weirdly, and I don't know, it might just be me, let me know in comments down below if you agree, but the clear let some light in the side that kind of reflected off the front lens. I was kind of getting glare on the front lens. Might just be me, but that's what it felt like. So I was moaning about that, so the wife got sick of my moaning and bought me the black one again, and this is my absolute favourite mask of all time to date. So I really like this mask. Again, XD come up with some fantastic sort of, you know, chuff in my regard as regard to lens clarity. Oh, it's the super clearest lens ever. It's not, it's just glass. And again, I sort of tell you about that in the first review. Again, link down below to check that out. But apart from that, this is my type of mask. It's single lens, it is super low profile. The peripheral vision is virtually full. I can only see a very, very little bit of the mask on this. I really like this mask. Super easy to clear, really big nose pocket, and just very, very comfortable. So the question is then, is how does the Techline mask match up? Well, I'm pleased to say very favourably. Techline have been around for about 20 years, and I'm telling you now, guys, they do not make cheap products. This is not a beaver mask, okay? This is not designed to be cheap, okay? They are comparable price-wise. This comes in about 60 quid. This is just over at 62 quid. And I think it's worth the extra couple of pennies. I'll go into that. So overall, it's pretty much the same mask. They look very similar. The design is slightly different. This one's slightly curvier. This one's slightly more angular. And again, I'll get you some close-up shots here. Okay, I would suggest these are probably made in exactly the same factory. The head strap at the back is, apart from the colour on this one, exactly the same. Made in Taiwan, I think it says somewhere, and they are identical. Okay, now the main difference between these two masks is the buckle mechanism. On the X-Deep, you've got this press button kind of thing that does work very, very nice, okay? And it's nice and simple to use. You press the button and you adjust it. The issue I've got with these is it's held together by 3 pins, and I have had masks previously. The Hollis one springs to mind. It was the M1 or M2, I can't remember. It was the square one, and I love that mask, but eventually the pins just wore out and they would just fall out randomly. Now, a couple of times it happened in the pool and I was able to get the pins back and sort of bodge it back together until the pins fell out again, because there was no real way of securing them. I tried, you know, whacking them with a hammer a bit more to flatten them out, but eventually they just give way. So it was a real sad day when I had to get rid of that, because I lost one of the pins, the strap just came off, and I just couldn't do anything about it. You can't buy the replacement pins, so it was a shame, but that mask, you know, ended up in the bin because there was nothing you could do with it. And this eventually, I'm sure, because it is secured by the same kind of pins, will go the same way. And this is where I think Techline has it over it, because the way this works is it's got like a full-on buckle with a bolt and a nylon nut that secures everything together. Now, a couple of things I will say. It has not got the same kind of fine adjustment underwater that you get with this one, even though the straps are the same. And I don't know quite why that is, but this is a lot easier to adjust underwater than this one. But it's a bit like an electric car mirror, isn't it? Once you've kind of done it once, do you really need to do it again? So once this was set up, which was slightly more difficult than this, because this is a bit more of a clunky mechanism, it was golden. But the thing I like about this is you can see if something's going wrong. You can see if this nut's coming loose. You can see if anything's gonna give way, which means you can prevent it But even better is, should this give way, should you lose the nylock nut off the bottom of it and it all comes apart, you can actually go on Techline's website and buy a new buckle with all the new bits for literally a couple of euros. Brilliant idea. Like, user replaceable and fixable things. It's almost like Apex could take a leaf out of their book with their lenses, isn't it? I think it's an absolutely brilliant idea, and I think that is going to save you some grief. And this is a mask probably for life. Do you know what I mean? Because the only bit that can fail is on the strap. Well, they're replaceable. And then the buckle mechanism. And as long as you don't rip this silicone, you can just keep replacing them as and when you need to. It doesn't look like you're going to need to very often because it looks really, really robust. But even if it does, then you just buy some spare replacement. I really, really like that. Other things to note about these two masks are, well, X-Deep's more tech in it. So you get this in black or you get it in clear, and that's pretty much it. The Techline, by comparison, they've sent me this one, which is the orange one that I took to South Africa with me, and I quite like the orange, and it matches their orange range. They've got an orange wing and orange regulators and all that kind of stuff. So if you are a colour coordinator, you're definitely going to want to go down the Techline route. They've got blue, they've got white, and they've got all kinds of colours. Check out the website. Again, the website links for all the masks will be down below. I think this is an absolutely brilliant mask for the money. It's my kind of thing. I rate it nice, simplistic, practical, usable, and even better, repairable should anything go wrong with it. So, I guess it comes down to the big question then. So I now own these two masks. Which one am I going to wear? Dun dun dun! Well, it's the X-Deep, obviously. Why? I told you earlier why. My wife bought me this, and if I don't wear it, I'm going to get me balls chopped off, aren't I? So it's as simple as that, okay? This is how we survive, gentlemen, isn't it? We all know, happy wife, happy life. So it's going to be the X-Deep you see me in, but this is going in my pocket as backup. And as and when the pins in this fail, hopefully not, but I think they probably will at some point in time, then I will have no problems whatsoever, 100% going over to the Techline mask, okay? So that's how happy I am with this. So either one, guys, I think you're gonna go all right with. I can't criticize either of these masks. I think they're both absolutely fantastic. But if I was spending the money again, I'd probably go Techline. So that's it, guys. What do you think? Have I got it right? Have I got it wrong? Do you not care? It doesn't matter. Leave your comments down below. But other than that, as always, I will see you on the next one.